Hello, Alex Rozier here. Quick update, 24 hours after posting my first personal finance video. Got 1,000 views in the first 24 hours, and I just thought I'd share what happened yesterday and where we're headed next.
Alright guys, back in my office. Thought I'd share with you guys a bit more about who I am and why the heck would I share my family of three's lackluster salary of 65 grand per year living in San Francisco to the whole world yesterday. And that's a very good question. But before we jump into that, 1,000 views, guys. What the heck is that all about? Thank you so much. I'm blown away. 24 hours ago, I posted my first video and it's got 1,000 views. Honestly, it exceeded my expectations by about tenfold. Since the world now knows everything about mine and my family's personal finances, I thought I'd give you guys a bit of context. So, I'm from a big family, one of 10 kids, grew up in Detroit, Michigan. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, also taught us some of our education through homeschooling. My dad was the sole breadwinner on a salary from Ford Motor Company. He and my mom were able to raise 10 kids, support our 10 college educations with covering 50% of the expenses, and comfortably retire at the age of around 54 on that one salary. So needless to say, I pretty much owe everything I know and I'll probably talk about on this channel to them and to what they've taught me throughout the years and what I've witnessed by, just experiencing how they live their life. Needless to say, I grew up around efficient spending mindset when it comes to personal finance. And beyond just that efficient spending mindset, I also grew up surrounded by an entrepreneurial spirit. My 4 oldest siblings all own their own businesses and run their businesses, and I very much took after that entrepreneurial spirit that I was effectively parented by my 4 older siblings as I grew up. I took to it strong at a young age, doing the normal things like mowing lawns, raking leaves, hustling around the neighborhood. Then as I got a little older in high school, I sold more than $9,000 worth of profit by selling my high school textbooks that I just bought a week prior from Amazon. And my friends thought I was crazy then. My friends still think I'm crazy now. But I'm always trying to find the angle on how to make some money, how to save some money, and just how to get to where I want to go, which is this financial independence by as soon as possible. But the goal is financial independence by age 50. As I graduated college, I realized that I faced some significant financial anxiety when thinking about supporting myself and potentially a family forever at this point, because I just graduated and I was on my own. I tried to adopt my parents' pinch every penny mentality, and I just wasn't doing it very effectively. I was saving and being very cheap about 90% of the time, but the other 10% things that I would spend here and there and just not following my budget ended up eating away at all the effort I was putting in the 90% of the time. And my savings rate was abysmal during that time. It wasn't until my wife and I got married 3 years ago that things got real and we had to face my financial anxiety head on. My wife came from a slightly different personal finance background in her upbringing, while her father shared a similar entrepreneurial spirit to myself and my siblings, and he ran his own business. We didn't align necessarily on the save every penny mentality that comes from not making much money and really needing to make every penny count. And so I was concerned about how that was going to translate into my wife's hopes and desires and what her expectations were as far as standard of living going forward in her life. While we talked about it, ad nauseum during our dating years, there's no way to know for certain how much of your past is going to reflect in the future. And so it was just a point of uncertainty that honestly heightened my financial anxiety going into the marriage. And I gotta tell you, when we got married, we started budgeting within the first couple months, and I really attribute the budgeting tool as the reason for a relatively stress-free, financially stress-free 3 years that we've had while living on only $65,000 per year in one of the most expensive cities in America. And that really brings me to the main reason that I'm even making this video right now, why I made the last video, and just what my hopes are with this channel. I hope to share how my family, my family's perspective on how we spend money, how we make money, some of my crazy thoughts and creative ideas, and hopefully creative executions, and just bring you guys along for the ride to show you a different perspective against what we see every day with the keeping up with the Joneses mentality that is so easy to fall into. But my personal opinion is it doesn't necessarily work for everyone and lead to the most fulfilling life. Now for some details on yesterday's videos, I posted it at 9 a.m. to my large audience of 32 followers that I had garnered over some videos I posted from years past. I hadn't posted on YouTube in years, and honestly I've been thinking about posting some videos on personal finance because it's been my hobby for years and it's just something I always think about. I've been thinking about doing that for years, but finally, the past week I have actually done something. I spent about 20 hours making that last video, from saying the same thing over and over to the camera until I was happy that I didn't completely butcher the message. And then I had to go pick up some Premiere Pro that I touched on a little bit from my previous videos, but was very rusty, and try to inject some of my dad humor into the edit. After posting the video, a few minutes went by and nothing happened, no viewers, which was a bit awkward because I just put myself out there sharing information that I had never shared with anybody except for my nephew and niece. Not even my parents knew how much I made, and I just publicly posted a video telling a detailed breakdown of how we spent our $65,000 per year. Well, so nothing's happening, right? So I decide I'm going to share now, just beyond this public upload to YouTube, I'm gonna share it to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Twitter profiles, share it with my friends and family. And to my surprise, people started commenting, people I hadn't heard from in years. It was awesome. Very, very upbeat comments that honestly make me feel just those alone were worth posting the video. And then Reddit got a hold of it, and Reddit did what Reddit does best and tore that video apart. And they nitpicked every little piece of it, and hence why I made the title what it was, because they found particular fault in yesterday's title, saying that I don't have a $65,000 salary and I shouldn't have put that in the title. Granted, I do have a $65,000 salary. I did just get a raise recently, which I'll make another video about how we change our budget for that, but we haven't changed it yet, hence why it's not in that last video, because that was last month's budget. But they didn't like the video, they didn't like the title, and they didn't like that my parents pay for my phone bill. Which I don't like that either, honestly. It's very generous of them, but it's always made me feel a bit uncomfortable. In addition to pinch every penny that my parents taught me, they also taught me to be extremely independent. And honestly, almost to a fault, I'm independent. I don't want help from anybody. I think I can do this on my own, and I want to prove that I can do it on my own, but it's not always the most healthy thing. So while I have asked my parents from time to time to take over the phone bill, look, sometimes you just gotta let people be generous and do what they want. Apparently, letting other people be generous to you makes you live a life of privilege, which I slightly agree with. I do believe that I have been raised in a certain way that provides me now with an opportunity that not everybody has. I have an education that I came out of without any debt. I had an upbringing that taught me personal finance, real life, and I have a mindset of relative positivity and entrepreneurship, which I think is very valuable in the world we live in today. The kicker that came out of the Reddit thread was, at the end of the day, as I'm commenting to every comment in the thread, I get a chat message from ABC News, and they wanted to do a story on me. I mean, I was blown away. I never expected such a thing. Honestly, like I said, 1,000 views was way more than I was expecting. And I got 20 new subscribers. Thank you, new subscribers. Hope you guys enjoy. And please comment down below. I would love to get to know you guys. I'm blown away that you would ever subscribe. So, here we are now, filming an ABC News story.
We probably just say hi.
Yes. Hey guys, we're with ABC News, so you'll check that out. I'll link it down below. And Reddit, you've come through. Weird things are happening. Let's see what happens, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. I can't believe it took me 2 years to finally post a video on personal finance. I really appreciate, I can't thank you enough for the thousand people that took 5,600 minutes of their day, that's a lot of minutes, to watch a video that I put together and my family's perspective. So thank you so much, and to the 20 subscribers, seriously, comment down below. I'd love to get to know you guys, and let's get this journey started.